So you mentioned building around Justin Fields. They have $118 million to spend in
Yeah.
free agency. So how do you think they'll build around Justin Fields? Just my take. I think they should fix offensive line and defensive line first, then work
Yes.
work your way out.
Well, you look at the philosophies of great teams. You look at Philadelphia Eagles, you look at even Kansas City, but I really like to look at the Philadelphia Eagles as like their front office is great. Their mentality is great. What they go about, how they go about their businesses, and it's about addressing the O line. It's about addressing D line, and those are the two things you got to have. You got to be able to pressure the quarterback. You got to be able to protect the quarterback, and we're not in any. No, those are the two positions that we just lack talent. Period. We don't have anything solidified. Talk about the receivers all you want and DBs, and we need those are premier positions. You got to address them. You got to turn that around for the Bears. Free agency is the first step in doing that. You look at guys who are available. Orlando Brown has been much talked about him. He's obviously a huge upgrade right away to the Bears offensive line, but he's going to hit market price. He's going to hit top market, and he's going to take up. I know we got a lot to spend, but he's going to eat up a lot of that, which could be spread around equally. But he's not an elite tackle. That's the thing about it. He has his deficiencies. He struggles against speed rush, but he can sure stop the bull rush. Something that Braxton Jones, the rookie last year, left tackle, struggled with. He struggled with the bull rush. He constantly was getting bull rush into the lap of Justin Fields. And to Justin Fields' brilliance, he's always able to spin out and make plays. But you don't want to live like that where you go on your blind side when your left tackle is getting pushed back into your back. You want to stand firm in that pocket. Now, Braxton Jones is supposed to be working on that strength, but sometimes you could squat all you want, but does it translate to technique on the field? So these are the huge, he has a lot of experience, but you got to address that left tackle spot. Is it going to be him moving forward? Are you going to take another gamble with him? Well, Orlando Brown is not going to get bull rush, but he's going to be susceptible to speed rush, and he's going to cost a lot of money. So, but there's other answers out there, right tackle, guys who are going to hit some market prices at right tackle, but they're going to be much affordable instead of left tackle like Orlando Brown. So I think you got to land somebody. You got to land at least two free agent offensive linemen. You got to land at least one or two free agent defensive linemen, and then address everything else in the draft moving forward. So all in all, I think two D linemen, two offensive linemen in the free agency, and then we go from there in the draft and we start filling holes.
Definitely. I think if this player is on schedule on his recovery, Taylor Lewan from the Titans.
Yes.
I think he would be a key piece too.
Yeah, I like, and that's the guy who, you got to look at, maybe you can get a reasonable, price for him. He's a veteran. He's nasty. And that's what that O-line needs. We need some, I played in the era of Olenkreutz, one of the leaders, nasty attitude. And, on the O-line, we don't got that right now. So he would bring that instantly. A little nastiness, a little fun, just a little personality. And that might be enough what we need as we started installing these young offensive linemen, the guy who could set the tempo and the attitude. So that would be a nice one. You got Glitchy from Notre Dame, played for 49ers. He's out there. Obviously he's a solid guy. I don't think he rings like all the bells for us, but he solidifies better than what we have. We have Jawan, I think it's Jawan Johnson, I want to say, pretty good right tackle. So there's some solutions out there. We got to address the inside too, So there's been injuries amongst our young linemen, Jenkins. We got to look at Luka Patchers, who was a big free agent signing for us, was supposed to play center, never even got a snap of center at all last year. broke his snapping hand. So we put him at guard just to justify, because he had to put a club on there. And the guy's not a guard at all. He was not very good when we put him in there. And we need him at center. We need him to play where he's going to be. We haven't even seen him at center. A guy who came from Green Bay the prior year before we picked him in free agency. So I think they just have to get it done. They know what they have to do. Poles is a former offensive lineman. So he knows what he needs to address when it comes to that line, but there's some good options. And I think you don't have to spin the house on Orlando Brown, but I wouldn't be mad if they did. But at the same time, I think they can be creative and piece it together a lot better. You could get Tyler Lewan, you could get Glitchy, you got your bookends, maybe you bump Braxton Jones to guard. That's another way to look at it.
And there's always those picks in the draft. There's a nice crop it'll probably go throughout probably the 6th round. You can probably get a good tackle, guard, center. The draft class is full. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard so many offensive linemen, names out there, solid guys. So it's going to be deep. And that's why we need to get that meat of the draft. I think everybody's enamored with the first round. But the meat of the draft is 2nd to the 4th round. Even, that's the meat. You get guys, especially in the 2nd and 3rd, those are starters. And 4th, you get guys nowadays you're starting to get 4th round starters, So that's where you want to land a lot of that, if we trading back, you want to get a meat of that area of the draft this year and next year, because we want to improve this year, but let's be honest, our improvement, I think, is just to get better, improve this team. Then next year, it's going to be another big year, because they're going to have, let's leave a little meat on the bone as far as like some of the money that we have to make sure we're re-signing guys that we got, like Jalen Johnson. And then let's make sure that we got some money to spend on some free agency, some guys who receive tags this year that might be available by next year.
Definitely.
And Deron Payne was one of those guys, because Washington, they took the flyer getting him a tag, but honestly, they have to go out here and sign a bunch. They have a great defensive line. They can't sign everybody. So holding on from him for another year sounds great, but next year he might be available. So, but at the same time, we might have filled those holes. We might have figured out a solution. So it's just a fun time. I think the Bears are in a great position. It's just like you just hope that they don't mess it up, because that's always been like a part of like I was about to say Mark Carmel, where I went to high school. No, we don't mess anything up in Mark Carmel. But anyway, with the Bears, I hope we've had a history in the last several years just not really smart decision making, and I think Poles is a guy who I think is yet to show his brilliance as a young GM, and I think this is his time. I would love to see that he's the guy, and that we got because it's a new regime now, a new way of looking at things, that there's so much criticism how Bears have done things, and I'm hoping that this new outlook in the front office, new president, that will be making the right decisions.